Bill Oram, Lakers writer for The Athletic. As I mentioned, most recent column, Lakers lottery pick opens up a summer of possibilities. Bill, kind enough to join us. Good morning, Bill. What do you mean by the summer of possibilities for the Lakers with that lottery pick?
Well, there's always possibilities with this team, but I do think that with this pick, obviously now it strengthens any offers they want to make for that second superstar to pair with LeBron James, whether it's Anthony Davis or someone else that they can go pry away from another team. It just gives them more options than they had before Tuesday afternoon, when they're looking at a future with LeBron James and a bunch of young guys and cap space. The 11th pick is a decent pick in the lottery, and while this is a really top-heavy draft, the fourth pick obviously gives them significantly more leverage to go in and try to rebuild quickly.
But and I immediately thought once they moved into the top four, well, that certainly made it a little bit more interesting with the package you can put together for Anthony Davis. What do you think the package would take to get Anthony Davis? What would that look like?
It's hard to say, just because you're dealing with almost an entirely clean slate in terms of the people who would be making that decision. It's no longer Magic Johnson dealing with Dell Demps. It's going to be Rob Pelinka dealing with David Griffin. And the Lakers package at the trade deadline was basically everything, including a season box to the Dodgers. Basically, it was Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, and 2 first-round picks. And those picks obviously were a bit of a mystery at the time, but now you know that one of those is the top 4 is the 4th pick in the draft. I don't know if it would take all of those guys like the Lakers tried to put out there in February. I think that situation was a little too maybe a little too hot to the touch to actually get a deal done. But now, obviously, David Griffin is assessing his situation. Obviously, his first priority is trying to keep Anthony Davis in New Orleans. He doesn't want any of those guys if he can avoid it. But if it does come to that, if you start talking about a package of Brandon Ingram, assuming Brandon Ingram's health is at a point where teams are comfortable taking him on, and I just don't know if that's the case yet, despite the positive reports we got on his blood clot, at the end of the season. But if you're talking Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and a 4th overall pick, I mean, the Lakers can't do better than that. And you're asking teams like the Knicks and Celtics to beat that package. I think that's hard to do. That's a pretty strong package. I mean, that's the Lakers trading basically their entire future for that second star.
Why does Anthony Davis want to play in Los Angeles?
You have to remember he's a client of Clutch Sports as well as LeBron James. There is kind of that partnership there. He has been in the NBA's smallest market for the first 6 or 7 years of his career, and as great as he has not become the face of the league in the way that a player of his talent you might expect would get to that level. He also hasn't won at the level that a player of that caliber would be expected to. And you would expect both of those things to change if he could partner with the most powerful force in the game in LeBron James, and then the most powerful brand in the Los Angeles Lakers. So, it's the same reason I think a lot of guys want to play in LA in theory. It hasn't really worked out that way when it's come to free agency, and I think that's one thing the Lakers are cognizant of in wanting to get a deal done, not only with whether Anthony Davis would still be available and interested in another year, but
what about the Clippers, though, Bill? What about the Clippers get involved in this? Does he have to, if he's in Los Angeles, does he have to play with the Lakers?
No, and I think the Clippers, we saw at the trade deadline, are willing to get creative to get things done. I think the Clippers' timeline I think the Clippers' path forward is just a little more straightforward than the Lakers. They can go out and sign these guys in free agency. These players are actually interested in joining this team. If they go get 2 guys this summer, as crazy as it sounds, they don't need Anthony Davis. They have their core.
Yeah.
But if there is a package that the Clippers are interested in the Pelicans are interested in for Anthony Davis that the Clippers have, they would obviously be interested. But the problem is fewer young assets. You'd have to be talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then some other pieces around him. But the Clippers are, like the rest of the league, like most of the league, don't have the assets to match what the Lakers could offer in the event New Orleans does end up shopping Anthony Davis.
Yeah, if I'm New Orleans, I welcome that opportunity. If the Lakers want to tip the table up and let everything fall off the table, and it goes to New Orleans, and I'm New Orleans, and I can get Kuzma, I could get Ingram health-wise if he's okay, even Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and I get that 4th pick overall, I take that. I put Zion in there, and I got Holiday, and I go, okay, we at least have the semblance of a roster that can do some damage. My big concern, and I was told this last night, is by a source that the Pelicans just don't want to have the Lakers benefit and get Anthony Davis. And I said, even if that hurts the Pelicans, and he said, maybe. And that sounds strange to me that I know you don't want to see Anthony Davis more times if you send him in the West than the East, but man, that seems crazy. If I can get the best deal, I take the best deal and I move on. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think what we saw kind of the way, if it's the same as it was at the trade deadline, it felt like there was going to be a Lakers tax, basically, where if he was going to end up with the Lakers, it was going to have to be an even better deal than they would have to get from someone else. But you're theoretically you're dealing with half of a click more, where it's an additional player, an additional pick. I agree with you in theory, but I do think there is kind of an allergy around the league to the notion of clutch sports kind of being able to team up their superstars in one place. The way this all went down with Rich Paul trying to force this before the trade deadline. I think that this is a situation where a lot of people would like to see the small market team, be able to retain their superstar and succeed with him, and not let the big bad agent come in and make and dictate terms of the situation. But ultimately, I think New Orleans, when it actually comes to a situation where it has to make a deal, it did not have to make a decision in February. There was time. There still is time. But when it comes down to, you are either going to lose this guy for nothing, or you can restock with young talent. I think New Orleans is going to make whatever the best deal for its organization is. And David Griffin is the kind of executive who will understand that and will do that.
Bill, good to talk to you again. We appreciate your time as always.
My pleasure, Dan. Thanks for having me.
That's Bill Oram, Lakers writer for The Athletic. The lottery luck opens up a summer of possibilities. I agree.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.